Marketing is an important part of any video game development cycle. It's how you let people know that your game exists and what to look forward to with your game. And I feel like Arcane, as much as I tend to enjoy their games, their marketing has always suffered. Their last title was Deathloop. I don't think the marketing for that game was particularly great. And now with their upcoming Redfall, I feel the same way. The first trailer that they showed off, I don't know, it was kind of hit or miss. Interesting concepts going on there, but they didn't show enough to really wow us. And then there was a whole situation where they confirmed that the game would be online only, but recently they did allow media to play the game, and those impressions fortunately have been more positive. Here is a basic summary from Okami Games. The bullet list includes things like strong single-player experience, Arcane's best gunplay yet, many comparisons to Far Cry, great level design that's very immersive, still has Arcane's DNA, working to remove always online requirement, a big plus, no in-game store or microtransactions, so on and so forth. For my part, I'm not fully sold on the game yet, but it has potential. The idea of essentially what is a cooperative hero shooter style gameplay, but with more of an open world single player experience a la Far Cry, where you get to hunt down vampires and combine powers to that end. It could be fun. I don't know. I have to get my hands on it. But what doesn't help is a recent gameplay that Arcane released through IGN First, which is this feature that IGN hosts where they get exclusive access to a game and promote it heavily. And Redfall happens to be the next big featured game for IGN First, except if you look at the likes to dislikes ratio, you'll see a whopping 5.7 thousand dislikes versus only 1.1 thousand likes. So what exactly went wrong? Well, what gameplay IGN showed here is pretty awful. When it comes to marketing, I think there is a spectrum of you can go too far and show gameplay that is really exaggerated and artificial looking, or that is just clearly fake, whose graphics and gameplay are spruced up and are not representative of the final game. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you can show gameplay that maybe has elements of what we'll see in the final game, but is so poorly shown that it almost does your game a disservice by not showing how it's played properly, and that's where this IGN gameplay sits at. A good middle point is just showing us gameplay that definitely looks realistic and achievable, and that is played proficiently. With this Redfall gameplay, man, it is frustrating and painful to watch, and it's a detriment to the game. And this is not me trying to make fun of the person who's playing this game. It's just like if you're IGN and you get exclusive access to gameplay for a game and are going to show that game off, there's a certain responsibility that comes with that to show the game not necessarily in an artificially good light, but in a balanced way where you show gameplay that feels representative of what the majority of players who are playing the game proficiently will experience, so we can get a genuinely good idea for what this game will actually play like. It's frustrating when I want to get a genuine idea for the gameplay, and then the gameplay shown is just something that looks a lot more underwhelming, not because the game itself is that underwhelming, but because the person playing the game just doesn't really seem to be doing the gameplay justice. And so I don't know, I wish they would have either re-recorded this gameplay video or just found ways to just make it closer, more representative to how more people will play this game. You'll see what I mean. But before we delve into the gameplay footage, you know what isn't painful and is in fact the complete opposite, offers relief? These earbuds right here, which for how affordable they are really high quality. Bringing us to the sponsor of today's video, Raycon, whose earbuds are as high quality as they are affordable. Raycon is setting out to prove that you don't need to break the bank to get great audio pumped right into your ears in a convenient, portable, and premium form factor. And from my experience, they're definitely into something here. Having used these earbuds at home, on the go, in the gym, you name it, I've been really happy with the crisp, balanced, and bassy audio they produce. Sound quality that's comparable to that of earbuds from other more prominent big tech brands. Beyond that, these earbuds are incredibly feature complete, with the buttons on each side allowing you to control media playback, selection, and volume, activate voice assistant, answer and end calls, turn on sound isolation, and even change between different sound profiles. They're also super comfortable, lightweight, and out of the way by being flush with your ears, with multiple tips to choose from for the perfect fit. For added ease of mind, they're not only water and sweat resistant, but they also offer a whopping 8 hours of playback on a charge, with a charging case offering an additional 32 hours of battery. For all this, Raycons are so affordable you can buy a second pair and still pay less compared to big tech brands' offerings. And you can get yours now at an even better price point if you click the link in the description box or go to buyraycon.com/yongya to get 15% off your Raycon purchase. So let me play this 3-minute footage for you guys and react along the way. Here we go. So starting out, it's fine enough, but as the gameplay progresses, you'll see what I mean, why this is so frustrating for people to watch. The amount of running away that the player does. So right here, some shots hit. And then all the different cuts that happen throughout this footage. Yeah, this is... out here is where things start degrading. The player, for some reason, just runs away from the encounter. But alright, let's see where the player's headed next. Right here is an enemy. Gets shot, very low health, but the player doesn't finish him off, runs away. Frantically running around the field. And it's just like hard to figure out what this game is from this footage, you know what I mean? And the marketing of a game should aim to give players a good idea for a game. And then, I mean, a lot of silly mistakes and then just more running away. Low health, I get it, but... okay, heal up, and then... I don't know where that went. It's just running around. Not doing a whole lot. And then... a bunch of cuts. That makes this all more disorienting when it comes to trying to figure out what's going on. And then right here, a bunch of shots missed. And you can see right here that... oh, man. Yeah. The boss was at low health, sniper rifle in hand, cuts away. The boss is still alive. Or, I don't know if it's a boss, but the tougher enemy's still alive. Runs away again. Doesn't just finish him off. Throws more stuff, kind of... once again, just fails to finish the enemy off. I don't know, it... oof. Yeah, that's, The finisher's cool, I guess. But it really... this really was a very disorienting, frustrating gameplay bit to watch. If you look at the not just likes to dislikes ratio, but also the comment section, you'll see that this footage is getting torn apart. Gotta give IGN credit for making any game they play excruciating to watch. Honestly, the fact that IGN chose to show this gameplay perspective instead of anyone else's genuinely makes me wonder how they all compare to this guy. When you give your little brother a controller, there's no way this is the best footage of this game that they got. Here's somebody highlighting all of the mistakes that they saw. Why are you fighting a giant boss inside a cramped house? Why are you now running away from the boss and then shooting ads while your team gets killed? Why are you lock-picking a door mid-combat instead of rezzing teammates? Why are you throwing your translocator and then not using it? Why are you sniping an enemy 3 feet in front of you? Why did you take the killing blow when you barely contributed anything? Others are frustrated at just the sheer number of cuts that were featured in this footage. This is a bad showcase. Stop skipping around. Show us the full fight. And look, I'm not saying that players aren't allowed to make mistakes. That's a part of genuine gameplay. But when your whole gameplay presentation is just a sequence of mistakes and you're constantly giving us weirdly placed cuts that doesn't allow us to get a full idea for what happened in this gameplay segment, then yeah, it is just not a good showcase. It just doesn't do the job that the video sets out to do. IGN being the biggest gaming news site, when they put out gameplay, it gets seen by a lot more people, and when that's what people see, it's probably gonna make them go, I don't know if this game is for me, which would be unfortunate if Redfall actually turns out to be a lot more fun than what that IGN gameplay shows it off to be. Now, there is other gameplay out there that seems to show Redfall in a better and more accurate light. Here is Colt Eastwood, for example, who tweeted, "Here's the Redfall combat montage I made. The gunplay is actually punchy, movement is swift, and combinations with powers are satisfying. This gameplay definitely just provides a much better impression and a much better feel for how the combat will actually feel like." So this is the footage that this guy shows. This looks a lot more fun, the way this is presented. Shows some weapon variety, shows what happens when you're able to, you know, actually hit your target. The kinds of cool things you can do with your powers. The way combat flows as you kill one enemy to the next. And even more prominent enthusiasts have been expressing similar frustrations, like Tom Henderson here, owner of Insider Gaming, covers a lot of like leaks and stuff. He tweeted that IGN first gameplay put me off this game, but this looks a lot better, referring to the Colt Eastwood gameplay montage. If I was a publisher, I probably wouldn't be using IGN first to show a first look at my game again after that. Not sure how that footage got approved, to be honest. I honestly have to lean towards that opinion a little bit of like how is this the impression you want to give? And on some level, I think there is an agreement that, look, we're going to cover your game, but you're going to have to let us cover it the way we want. You can't just go in there and nitpick what we can put out there, because then there's a conflict of interest where you're kind of almost like sponsoring at this point if you're telling us exactly how to, you know, cover the game, exactly what we can say and what we can upload. It's like there has to be a level of freedom that a news outlet has to be granted for them to allow to do honest coverage. But at the same time, it's like clearly there is a better way to show the game off than this IGN gameplay where the player is missing a lot of shots, just doing a lot of frantic things, a lot of running around, a lot of just not finishing enemies off, and it's just very unattractive gameplay that I don't feel really represents the game. It's the polar opposite of the again, there's that spectrum that I talked about. It's the polar opposite of the Anthem style marketing of showing fake, spruced up, beautiful gameplay that isn't actually the game, but just this vertical slice that they build as a presentation, essentially, for them to build the rest of the game around, with that as sort of the goal. And then there's this, where this is actually the game. They're playing a build of the game. It's actual gameplay, but, you know, when you're not playing the game proficiently enough to, like, give us a better idea for the gameplay flow than this footage does, where the gameplay flow looks so off and it's just so cumbersome, like, then that's a problem. It just really puts down the game's true capabilities and potential. It just makes the game seem worse than it is. It is still inaccurate, even if that wasn't the intention. So yeah, hopefully in the future we'll get just better Redfall gameplay. Hopefully Arcane will like upload a match among developers who know what they're doing. 4 players, switch between perspectives. Don't try to like cinematize it. Don't try to add like fake commentary like some live service trailers do, where they very meticulously pick out how the gameplay is played and then they add voiceover in the background of players pretending or actors pretending to be players who are communicating with each other, which comes off really artificial and awkward. Don't do that. Just play the game and then like upload cool bits of that and you know, show us genuine commentary among players if that's a thing, genuine communication. Just show us genuine gameplay that looks proficiently played, and that'll give us a good idea. At the end of the day, that's what players want. You know, they just want to know what they're in for when they're considering spending money on a game that they're interested in enough. Or at the very least, that's one man's take. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts and opinions are on the Redfall gameplay that we've seen so far. And Redfall in general, do you think it has potential? Is it something that you're still interested in? Are you on the fence? Or are you like, this is just not for me? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.